Good morning, everybody. I am outside, as you can see. Today, I'm going to be working on some schoolwork, my life as a writing major. So first, I have a lecture that was pre-recorded on setting that I'm going to look at. I already submitted an assignment for a weekly writing prompt last night. So I have nothing like in terms of assignments that needs to happen. And then after that, I'm probably going to listen to some English introduction lecture. It's Friday. So some updates on me for those of you who don't know. I am a second year creative writing major at a Canadian university. This year I'm doing 2 streams in fiction and poetry. My poetry class has yet to start, but obviously my fiction class has started, so I primarily write fiction. I dabble in some poetry here and there, but fiction is my thing. So I'm really excited about this lecture. Some stats on how university is going for me, as obviously we're in a time of coronavirus. I am doing all of my classes online. I'm from Toronto. Usually I don't do school in Toronto. I go to school very far away. It was a little bit stressful figuring out like my asynchronous schedule and sort of getting on top of classes, that aren't live, that I can do whenever I want. But after I made a calendar, it was perfectly fine. So if any of you guys are in Zoom University and are like feeling stressed, I highly recommend making a calendar of like when lectures are going up, when you might want to get an assignment done. That really helps. Fiction is not very labor intensive this semester. I'm doing workshops next semester, so this is just prepping me for those workshops. Hey everyone, so it's been less than a week since my last update. I just got out of my first poetry lecture. I'm so tired. It's a 3-hour lecture on Zoom, but I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I'm going to eat food. And then I got my first assignment. It's a really cool poem that's not going to take me very long, so I'm really excited to dive into that. It's due next week, so probably won't look at it tonight because I feel like watching Modern Family for the rest of the night and also writing my own book. But I'm also really tired now, so I might just watch Modern Family for the rest of the night. That's what this week is starting to look like. I'm just getting tired really fast with like Zoom classes, and I'm gonna go eat and watch TV. I will see you sometime later. Hello everyone. So I'm outside. I have my fiction lecture later, so I'm gonna attend that. I've been working on some other class stuff. I was attending a lecture for a religion class I'm taking, and then I did some stuff for an English class I'm taking. These are all electives. The only required classes I have are my workshops. Yesterday I wrote a draft for a poem in a poetry class following like a 20-step poem structure where every single line of the poem follows a different prompt. That was a lot of fun. It was difficult, but it was a lot of fun. It ended up being about birds and this woman. I need to submit that to a workshop next week. Every single time I do something, I go on a walk. So my dog's really tired because I've taken her on many walks today. I'm hoping to write feeding habits. So as you probably already know, I'm taking my classes online because of coronavirus. And so a few tips for those of you who are also doing online school, whether like you're in high school or in your university. Online school can have a tendency to get really exhausting and you can overwork yourself because you're looking at a screen. And usually I stare at screens all day anyway, but for some reason with online class, it's just so much worse. And so I find just going outside if you can. It's gonna get cold in Toronto soon, so I'm just soaking it up while I can. Even for like a 10-minute walk between tasks. Be drinking lots of water because it can get really tiring. Yesterday I had a 3-hour lecture. It was so tiring. Get an ergonomic setup. Like if you're using a laptop, get a laptop riser. I don't have mine outside right now just because I'm outside and I don't feel like bringing it. But that can really help for if you have to watch a lecture for a long time. And don't be afraid to log off early, I find. It depends on how your classes work. Most of my classes are asynchronous, so it means like I don't actually have to attend lectures in person. They're like pre-recorded. I kind of tend to log off earlier than I used to. School day when you have to attend classes in person is just naturally longer because you have to walk to classes. You need to take more breaks because you're being more physically active. But at home, see what happens if you log off an hour early. And if it doesn't work, you can adjust. Have a dialogue with the people who are teaching you. I'm sorry if the people who are teaching you are assholes and aren't keeping that in mind because this is a global pandemic and sometimes I have to remind myself, listen, it is so normal to not be adjusting properly. Life goes on and you can do it. Just, give yourself the breaks that you need because your body will give you these signals. So follow what your body's telling you. If you're tired, take a nap. If you're hungry, eat a snack. If you don't want to do your lecture, don't do the lecture. Do it tomorrow. Take time for yourself. Hi everyone. So it's Saturday. I am trying to clear out my Saturdays to not do any work. It's going to be the first time I've actively done that for basically all my life, just trying to keep my Saturdays pretty clear. It's been working the first few weeks of school, obviously, because things aren't too intense. I'm gonna look at a poem probably maybe later tonight or tomorrow, but I'm actually trying to write Feeding Habits, my own novel, which I've been struggling with, kind of gruelingly struggling with for the last few months, but I'm feeling really excited to write the next thing. I broke into it a little bit. I'm feeling a bit more comfortable in the atmosphere and the character, but right now I'm prepping myself by watching Hannibal. I'm really like obsessed with that show. My parents got me a monitor and keyboard setup as my birthday gift, which is awesome, and I'm so excited. So I'm watching Hannibal on a giant screen and it's gorgeous. Hello everybody, it is the next week of about double the workload that I had last week. I just submitted a poem for my poetry class. It didn't take any editing because it's kind of a bizarre poem. It took me a long time to write it, so I had a lot of thought going into the writing process beforehand anyway. But I'm also watching Hannibal instead of doing my work. In like 5-minute bursts, I'll watch a bit of an episode. About 60% of the degree is electives. Most of my work this week is dedicated to my electives and not my writing. However, I do have a writing lecture that I need to watch asynchronously, take some notes. So a lot of the work that I do as a writing major is actually not for writing classes. Also, I'm in my second year, so there aren't that many writing electives. Hi everyone, so it's the next day and I'm about to start a revision for a short story for my writing class. I need to submit for workshop in literally a week. It is a flash fiction piece, 1,000 words or less. It's currently 7:30 p.m. so that's why it's so dark out here. I'm going to log on and try to do some structural edits on this short story. I'm a bit overwhelmed because I suck at structural edits. I know what I intended with a short story, so that definitely helps. I have coffee because I need to caffeinate myself. I can't be coherent at 7:30 p.m. and do structural edits on a short story. So when I'm struggling with a story, what I'll often do is I'll sit down and try to identify the crux of the story, what the story is about. As lofty as that sounds, all of your stories are probably going to have a crux, and so identifying what that crux is, whether like it's an emotional journey, it usually has to do with the character, and because I write literary fiction, it's obviously very character focused, so what the character is trying to achieve and the inner workings of their goal. Now, some stories don't require this level of thematic understanding. Usually this sentence that I'm writing down, the crux, is the theme of the story. The theme doesn't necessarily have to be related to what the reader is going to take from the story. It's more the theme of character and what is this character going through, and why are they going through it, and why is it significant to who the character currently is. So I find asking myself these questions is important. I don't know what the weather is like for you guys, but if you can get outside, I highly recommend doing it. It makes online school a lot easier on the mental health. Hi everyone, it's much later in the evening. My computer fan is being really loud, so I'm trying to talk over it. I finished, I guess, some of the comments for some of the poetry. I'm about halfway done, but I didn't feel like doing all of it tonight, so I'll leave some for Monday. What I've been working on is actually kind of exciting. I recently posted a narration of me reading chapter 1 of the novel I'm working on called Feeding Habits, and it was like really well received. I was really nervous. What you didn't know is like I recorded that for an upload in July, but then I got too nervous to post it, and then I just kept putting it off week to week, and I finally like had the courage to post it. I was literally gonna pull it from posting, and then I realized that like I was originally going to post another video like making a book cover for Sarah's birthday gift, but then I realized I can't post that on Friday because our birthday's on a Sunday. And so I was like, you know what, Rachel, be brave, put on your big girl pants and just post the dang thing, because what is in the recording is everything I've shared on my blog already. So if you saw the Feeding Habits writing update, you would have seen what's in the recording and more, because I didn't include the entire chapter in the recording just because I wanted to keep it as appropriate as possible for my YouTube channel. And so I've already shared all of it on the internet, so sharing's not the problem. It's just I'm really like self-conscious about my narration voice. I never used to be, but I can't stand listening to myself read anymore. I can like edit these vlogs, like my talking voice is fine, but if I'm narrating something like and I know that I'm like reading my work, it kind of it gets to me, so I struggle with it. But because you guys were so well receptive of it, which I'm so happy for all of like the positive comments. Thank you so much for all the support. If you listen to the chapter, so many people are being so nice about it. I'm gonna do a recording of chapter 2. So right now it's like 11:10 p.m. It's quite late. I've just been doing a line edit on chapter 2 because I wrote it many months ago, so it needs cleaning up. I never really did a proper line edit, so now I'm just gonna clean it up and like get it ready for recording. I'm thinking I will do like as much as I can, like record as much of this book as possible to share. Some of it I just don't feel comfortable sharing it, but for like the parts that I do, I will definitely share it on here if you guys are interested in that, because it was so well received and I'm feeling all the good vibes. So yeah, I'm just like on my computer monitor, I have split screen of the original document and now I'm just editing it into another document. Hi everyone, it's the next day and I'm about to start recording chapter 2 of my audiobook for Feeding Habits, but I thought I would show you my setup. Okay, so basically this is what the setup looks like. I've created a bit of an audio booth in my room, and how I did that is Sarah helped me string up this like blanket, and we use like a hair clip and a paper clip thing to secure it to my curtain rod, and I secured the bottom here so that it's a bit of like a booth in there. So I have my microphone and iPad, which is what I read off of, so I don't have like page turning sounds. My laptop is on my stool. I've put a pillow to cover like the vent that's in here, so it's really hot. It is warm outside. There's no air circulating in this room right now. The reason why I put the laptop down here is in case the fan turns on, it won't be super close to the mic, so it won't pick up as much. And so here I will have Audacity connected. I just make sure that the microphone's set to blue Snowball, press OK, and then I will press record from here and I'll just read the chapter. It's pretty simple. I just sit here. My family's doing construction right now in the basement, so while I'm recording, I'll just try to be aware of that, but it's pretty quiet. I also have a bottle of water because it's pretty important when you're going to be talking for a long time to keep hydrated. I'm just going to open my iPad, has the story on it. This is my mom's iPad, but I gotta kind of like burrow my head under here. This is like ridiculous. Hi everyone, so I just finished the recording, so let me just save it before, you know, all of that work goes to waste. It didn't take very long. It took maybe about an hour, 45 minutes. That was pretty painless. I didn't really mess up that many times. Hi everyone, so it's been a few days and I am just starting my work today. It's about 10:45 in the morning and I have some comments that I'm just continuing to do like you would have seen earlier that I'm doing for my poetry class. I still have like a lot to go. I need to have them all done, so I'm gonna just spend the beginning half of my day doing that because it's gonna take some time. 11 poems, so that's gonna take a while. Hi everyone, it's been a few hours and I finally finished my poetry edits, and now I'm going to give myself a bit of a break by doing an assignment for my writing class. We do weekly writing prompts. This week it's just answering characterization questions, so I'm gonna do that and then work on some other stuff. Hello, I am back. It's been a few hours. I finished everything that I needed for my writing class. I finished that prompt and now I'm just sitting out here. I'm gonna take a short break and then I'm going to work on like one English reading. I'll finish work. It's about like 4:15. So maybe I'll work till 5 and then call it quits.
Sweet and heady like my